Understand that you have power over your mind, right? I know us men, we deal with a lot of depression, right? And we deal with a lot of anxiety and, procrastination and just negative thoughts and negative emotions in general. But you have to understand this. You have to learn how to flip a switch within your mind, right? You have to learn how to shut those negative thoughts down. And the only way you can do that is not by distracting yourself, right? That is the worst advice I've ever heard from anybody, right? Right? If you go through a breakup, people will say distract yourself, you know what I'm saying? Distract yourself with work. You know what I'm saying? Try to be productive, to just block out the noise and block out the negativity when that's the worst thing you can do, because the moment that you're alone, it's like you go crazy. With that being said, you have to learn how to be alone, right? You have to learn how to meditate, right? Learn how to meditate and look within yourself and look within your mind, right? Look within your soul, right? Learn how to just be still in your room and just feel your emotions overwhelm your body and let those emotions pass. That is the best thing that you can do, right? As a person that's experienced, being depressed, experienced anxiety, the best thing that you can do is just let the emotions pass by, right? You have to feel those emotions. You have to experience those emotions because you're a human being, right? You are not a robot, right? So those emotions of depression and anxiety, those emotions will come and go, right? They will come and go time and time again, right? But the more that you let those emotions pass through, right? The more that you let those emotions flow, right? The more that you will get used to it, right? To the point where you don't have to hold it in anymore. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you know what to do when those emotions arise again, right? When you start to hold those emotions back, when you start to hold those negative emotions back, right? That's when you start, doing things that you don't usually do or wouldn't think you would do, right? Which is lashing out on somebody or talking crazy to somebody or punching a wall, all because you're not staying still and meditating and allowing those emotions to just flow through, right? Understand that you must learn how to channel your emotions into something positive, right? If you're feeling some type of anger, right? And if you're feeling rageful, put that into a workout, right? Don't distract yourself, right? Don't ignore your emotion. Don't try to just be calm and just be all stiff-necked, you know what I'm saying? Put that negative emotion into something creative, right? Understand that any negative emotion that you feel can turn into positive, right? Any positive emotion that you feel, you can turn it into something negative, right? It all comes down to how do you channel those emotions, right? Right. You have to learn how to put all of those emotions that you're feeling into something that's going to uplift your life, right? Which, like I've been saying, working out. If you're feeling angry, work out, you know what I'm saying? Hit the weights, bro. Lift the dumbbells, right? Do the bench press, you know what I'm saying? The squats, whatever workouts you can think of, do those workouts whenever you're feeling angry or rageful or wrathful or whatever. Do something that's going to uplift your body, right? Now, like I was saying, if you're feeling some type of sadness, you have to literally just learn how to let the sadness go through your body, right? And just embrace the emotion. Let the tears come down your face, right? Don't cry in front of anybody. You don't have to cry in front of anybody, because nine times out of 10, the moment that somebody sees you crying, they will think of you of somebody who is soft. Now, I don't care what anybody says, right? They will think of you of somebody who is soft. Why? Because that is something that society pushes, right? If you cry as a man, you're soft, right? And people are so used to that ideology to the point where it's like you can't really show that you're sad, right? So you might as well just stick with it, bro, right? But at the same time, don't hold it in all day. The moment moment that you get time to yourself, the moment where you're just in your room alone by yourself and nobody's around you, cry, bro. Let it out. Because at the end of the day, the person who needs to hear you cry the most is God. The person that you need to be most vulnerable with is God, right? The person who needs to see your emotions the most is God, right? Because Christ has felt all of those emotions before, right? He has felt all of those emotions when, you know what I'm saying, he was carrying that cross, you know what I'm saying? All of those emotions of just, you know, like pain and suffering and sadness, right? You know what I'm saying? He cried on to God, you know what I'm saying, why have you forsaken me? You know what I'm saying? Because he was so in tune with his flesh, you know what I'm saying? He felt the divineness strip away from him, right? As he was on the cross, right? That's why he asked that question, right? With that being said, try your very best to live your life through Christ, right? Because he is the true definition of masculinity, right? Because he didn't complain. When he was carrying that cross, he didn't complain. He did what he had to do, right? He did what he had to do, right? He didn't complain, right? He wasn't angry with what he was doing. He just let it happen. He literally flowed with God, right? He let everything happen. He didn't try to fight back. He let it happen. Same thing with your emotions. You cannot fight your emotions back. You cannot hold them back. You have to just let those emotions flow. You just have to let them go, bro. You have to let those emotions go, right? Why? Because at the end of the day, you are a human being. You are human, bro. Don't let anybody out there in the world make you feel less human, right? All because you have to hold it in all day, and the moment that you cry, the moment that you're angry, you're moving like a woman. No, bro. You have emotions just like a woman has emotions, right? The only difference is that a woman, majority of the time, can't really control their emotions as much as men can, right? You will have to learn how to control your emotions and regulate your emotions to a point where you don't, spaz out and spiral out of your emotions, that just like how a woman usually does, you know what I'm saying? Learn how to control yourself, learn how to control your emotions, but at the same time, don't hold them back, right? Because if you keep holding your emotions back over and over and over again, there will come a time where you're going to lash out at somebody, where you're going to punch the wall, right? When you're going to start just bugging out, acting out of character, right? Making people see a certain side of you that they don't want to see. Why? Because you're dealing with your own, your own struggles, your own insecurities, and you're just holding them in, right? You have to learn how to just be emotionally intelligent, right? Be aware of your emotions. Ask yourself, why are you feeling this way, right? Why are you feeling sad? Why are you feeling angry? Why are you feeling happy? Why is this making you feel good? Why is this making you feel bad? Ask yourself these questions, right? We get so used to getting into relationships and talking to somebody and trying to get to know somebody else, when half the time we don't even know ourselves. Half the time we don't know us, right? We don't know what makes us sad. We don't know what makes us us. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what makes us us, right? And that's something that's very important that you need to learn, right? You need to learn how to just find yourself through God, right? You need to learn how to just be aware of your emotions, right? Be aware of who you are as a person. Be aware of your purpose on this earth. Be aware of your duty. Be aware of how you're going to serve God, right? Be aware that you are in control of your mind. You are in control of your thoughts, right? I hope y'all learned something from this video, bro. Right, and it's a pleasure to see that y'all are enjoying these videos, right? Y'all are commenting under my videos saying that you want more of these, right? And I'll try my best to, you know what I'm saying, supply y'all the best that I can. With that being said, I'm going. Take care.